Good morning. I'm David Weegenaar. I bring you chess lessons from New Zealand daily, other than Sundays. Here we have the starting chess position for white and black. Okay, now what I want to bring you is you could learn a lot of opening play for white and that of black, and responses for black or responses for white. You can learn all these things, but you might not want to. You might just want to play your friend or your sister or your brother or your mate or whatever your father or your son or daughter, etc., or your workmate, and you might not want to learn much about chess. So here is a wee session on what you can do for white. Now you can learn these moves and they will stand you well. I won't promise success for you, but I want to just sort of show you some simple ideas. Now, one thing I've noticed is that grandmasters are playing this or this, and this, okay? In lightning games on chess.com, grandmasters against each other, and they're just playing bishop here, okay? And we're not looking at black here, because you can play these moves just about against anything, okay? They're just playing these simple moves, and they're moving their knight out, or their knight out to here, or something like that, and this knight can go out to here, see, knight f3, which you don't have to learn all what the moves are. I don't learn what all the variations are. You don't need to learn that in chess. You just need to know them. You don't have to know what they're called. I'm not into what variations and all that are called or sub-variations. But what I'm showing you is that the grandmasters are just playing moves like this, just simple, keep it simple, sort of stupid. And not you being stupid, but keep it simple, stupid. Don't go out of your way to complicate things too much if you just want to play chess. So if you just want to play chess, here's one that I like playing is e3. Now another one I like playing is e4. Now e3, I'll explain e3 to you. It's called, if you want to look into it, it's called the Stonewall defense. It's e3, d and d4 and f4. These three moves here like that, you see. So it's e3, the e3, d4 and f4. And then you can just move your knight out here. You don't even have to look at what black's doing almost. If they take a pawn on here, okay, if they take a pawn on here, then obviously you're going to take it back. Now, if you take it back, you don't want to take it back with the knight so much. You want to take it back with the pawn, so that you've got these sort of like bullets in the center of the board, you see. And then you've got a place for putting your knight to e5, sort of thing, unless a pawn tells it to go away. Okay, so you can just play these simple moves for white, and I do not promise success. You will find out your way of playing it too. You might vary on what I'm showing you. But what I'm trying to say to you is that you can just play bishop e2 and maybe castle on the short side, okay, castle to the king's side, okay, and you've got these pawns that are quite solid in the center. They're quite hard for black to break up, so that's why it's called a stone wall. So that's one idea, and this knight, I usually like to put it to d2, okay? The queen's knight on b1, I tend to like to put it to d2, and I play c3, and I mean, it's quite successful for me, and so it's very, very simple to learn. You might like to vary on here and go b3 and c4 and bishop b2, and queen here, or rook here, queen here. That's what I've seen grandmasters play this sort of stuff. And by the way, don't worry about the stone wall defense being weak, because if it's weak, why is Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion, playing the stone wall is black? And I think he may have played variations of it as white. Now, I want to leave you with, so that's a wee little opening that you can learn very, very simply for white, is you can either play e3, and your opponent, usually the opponent will play c5, or d5, or even e5. Now, I like e5 best for white after e3, e5. I like this move of black's best for me, not for black, because then I can play a French defense backwards. I'm playing a French defense as white reversed. So, and then if e4, or they can't play d5 now, can they, black? Because you're just going to take the pawn here, and then you're going to be a pawn up, see? So they can't play just merely d5 on move 2, because they just lose a pawn on e5. Now let's say they, after e5, they play f6. Well, you can have a lot of fun here, okay? Say, for instance, after e3, move 1, e5, d4, f6. You can now take this pawn here now, okay? This pawn can take here, and then what you can do is what you can do, and watch what you can do here now. You can just go queen to h5, check. Okay, now that's also attacking this pawn on e5. And so what can black do? Well, black can push this pawn here, okay, or move the king up. Now, white could merely just take the pawn on e5 with their queen and run away quickly thereafter. But if g6, that's not very good for black, because white would take this pawn on e5 with check. And then if the queen comes out here or something like that, the white queen takes the rook on h8. So we're a whole rook up and a pawn. And guess what? Black has not got, as they have when you play e4, okay, queen takes pawn here. They haven't got that because the pawn is not on e4, it's on e3. So black hasn't got that countermeasure. And so I would consider black to be in a lost position here, as I'm sure a lot of my chess friends, at least in New Zealand, would agree with. So e3 is quite a good wee move if you want to have something for white to play without entering into lots of theoretical knowledge, where, let's be honest here, it's a bit difficult to sort of enter into that realm, isn't it? Let's face it, of having to meet someone's home preparation. But you can be prepared with this line, e3, d4, f4. You still have to watch what black's doing and try and maintain these pawns like this. And you've got a nice position for white without having to, if you want to learn theory, of course you learn theory, but you've got moves like knight here later on. You move your knight out to d2, and this knight can join in the fray, okay? So I hope you can see what I'm saying. And this queen can move here if it so wishes, and she can then move out to here, or to here, or she can just move here, or she can stay on e1. You do have to watch this e pawn. You do not want to lose that e pawn at all. So then I want to finish this session, and you end up moving your rooks to you get your bishop out, of course. You've got to get the black square bishop out, so you might move it out here. And then if you move your queen out here, we're just doing white here. We're not even worried about black. Then we're just going to be able to play our rook here if we so wish, or we might play it here, or we might leave it there, and we might push the a pawn, etc. So you can experiment with this wee stone wall setup. It's very, very easy to learn, and you can play it against almost anything that black wishes to throw at you. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, eh? Now, what I want to just close in saying is I've just watched Grandmasters on chess.com playing, and all they were doing was this, e4, and then the second move was knight c3, okay, and then the Grandmaster went g3, bishop g2, and knight here. Now this is another line, by the way, not this actual line here, okay, but this is another line I quite like for white, is just to go 1. So this is what the Grandmaster was playing, and against the other Grandmaster, and so they weren't even in. This isn't, according to me, theory. I mean, it might be, but I don't think it is. So that's what they were playing. They were just playing knight to e2, just simple, eh? Simple. But pawn up to d3, and bishop here, and queen up here, and castle either way. You can castle this way, okay? And you have to use one hand only. That's just a text coming through. And it's so simple. You still have to watch what black's doing, but you could just do that in chess. That's all you have to do in chess. You do not have to be a marksman in the opening. You do not have to be a marksman at all. So I need to finish here. So that's what they said. But this is another line I quite like, and I'm quite successful with, is knight e2, and I'm just showing you white's moves. I'm not even looking at black, because you hardly have to. You still have to watch what they're doing, but you hardly have to watch them. Just this sort of thing, e4, knight e2, knight ge2, knight b c3, and then you can play g3 maybe, or you can play knight g3 maybe, and because the knight's moved to g3, it's looking at that outpost maybe to f5, and that's the end of my wee quick session. And so this is sometime in September, and I'm in Dunedin, just seeing my lovely, lovely mother.